Hi everyone, it's Vinny. Today I'm going to be doing a really cool video on hair, and in particular, hair color removers. So in the last few years, there's been a lot of talk about hair color removers, sometimes known as hair color strippers, and basically the jury on whether they're good or bad, and personally I think they're good. What their purpose is, and this is the one that I got, is a satin color reverse hair color remover. It's bleach and ammonia free, reverses color process without damaging, and you can recolor the same day. Most hair color removers are sulfur based, so they basically smell like rotten eggs. They are usually safe to recolor the same day, but I wait a few hours, so I'll do it in the morning, wait till night to use the hair color. There are two things I should mention though, hair color removers is depending on the brand. A lot of the stuff over the counter does work. However, one of them, like the L'Oreal L'Oreal, it was like L'Oreal color remover, I think it was called, $5 or $6 at the store. That was actually Ethosol, and it was basically bleach, so it behaves the same way as bleach. You get the drying effect. To put it this way, when I got the bottle. I had a bottle like this and only this much product. So with my hair, how it's thick and long, it only covered this much, and after 5 minutes, the smell of bleach was awful. That I washed it out, and it actually left me with stripes. So that didn't work out at all. Color Oops, on the other hand, says you have to wash your hair for 25 to 30 minutes. That to me sounded ridiculous, so I wanted something that was a better product. Even though I had to pay a little bit more, I knew that it was professional because I got this at the professional store. So one of the things you always do with a color remover is there's two bottles, the activator and the processing solution. First thing you do is read the directions always, and then after the directions you'll do a patch test. I did the patch test. I'm not allergic, so I can use this. So it says with this one, tells you to do the patch test. The instructions are pretty easy to follow. You have to apply this to dry hair, not wet. You mix equal parts of color reverse 1 and 2. Apply mixture to the affected areas of hair, and you cover hair with a plastic cap. And you let it process for 20 minutes. Then when you process it, you're going to rinse, shampoo 2 to 3 times. I always do the maximum amount for maximum color removing. Then you rinse thoroughly for 5 minutes, and then you repeat steps 6 and 7. So you shampoo again, rinse again. And then after you do all that, your hair is going to be a little bit dry probably from all the shampooing. So what I always use is I use a deep conditioner afterwards to really make sure your hair's in good condition. And then I wait a few hours, and then I'll recolor again. And it even tells you the steps and how to recolor. And if you recolor hair to prevent grabbage, make sure not to process hair color on porous ends longer than 5 to 10 minutes. Using a color filler or good conditioning treatment before the new color is applied will help prevent grabbing and leave hair in better overall conditions. And it says this will not work on metallic or direct dyes. Don't even use this either on semi-permanent like Manic Panic and all that. I've seen people do that and it actually comes out darker. Part of the reason is that this actually will open your hair cuticle, and your cuticle's like this. It'll open it up, allow all those color molecules out that are artificial, so you can put a new color over. I've heard people can use a color remover, then use a high lift to go lighter, and that works perfectly fine because I've done that on friends. The other thing is if you are like naturally black hair and you remove black hair dye, you're going to want to use a bleach. Hands down, bleach, because black is always the hardest to remove. Another thing to always use too is when using a color remover, I use a clarifying shampoo. You have to use a shampoo obviously, because what this will do is this goes in there and it will shrink all those color molecules so you can wash them out. So it's up to you to really rinse and shampoo the heck out of your hair to get all that color out. So if you use a color care shampoo, it's going to work a little bit, but it's probably not going to work a lot. You're going to want a shampoo that is clarifying, because usually those have sulfates and all that stuff that would otherwise strip hair color out. And another thing too is, because I'm going to go do this, I'm going to come back in a part 2 on how it worked, is you're going to want to use a color bottle because this is liquid. It doesn't work well with a brush and bowl. You're going to want to use a processing cap, or I always recommend using a processing cap, not a shopping bag, because some of the colored bags can probably put color in your hair, and that can happen. Sectioning clips to section off your hair, and make sure you're doing it quick. A color remover like this that is sulfur-based does not strip your natural hair color, which is good. However, if you're using an Ethosol-based color remover, that can lighten your natural hair as it behaves like bleach. Also, be mindful of anything with color. Remove any of the colored rugs. Put down clear towels only. Another thing is whenever I use this, I only do it when I've done color movers with no shirt on, because shirt has color, and the color mover is going to go in there and it'll actually take the dye out of your shirt. I had a friend that had to stain his carpet because he used a color remover and he spilled it on the carpet and it actually sapped the dye out. And this stuff doesn't smell either. This actually smells like citrusy. I know some of the color movers smell like rotten eggs, but this smells pretty good. This one doesn't smell like anything. So I'm going to go slap this on, and I will see you guys in 20 minutes, and I'll show you the results. I'm trying to remove a dark brown. The parts that look more reddish, be in mind the lighting is bad in here, but the parts that look more reddish were after the fact when I threw a red back on, because I used a dark brown, and I didn't want to do it, and it was just a mess up. I've always been red, and I always prefer red, so I'll come back and I'll show you guys how it works.